Hello again, this is Scott Moore of the Baden-Powell Service Association, continuing to review the knots, hitches, lashings, splices, and other rope tricks associated with Rover practical training. So right now, I'm going to use this spar and this rope, and we're going to do a timber hitch. A timber hitch is used to secure a rope to a spar. Imagine if you have to drag a log a distance or something like that. So it can also be used, I'm trying to find a comfortable position where I can demonstrate this and you can still see what I'm doing. So I'm having the standing end of the rope is over my shoulder, the working end is in front of me. You can see the end of it there with the green whipping on it. So I'm going to have the rope hanging behind my spar. Another place you'll see a timber hitch is it's the starting hitch used to tie a diagonal lashing. Most lashings actually start off with a clove hitch or finish with a clove hitch. The diagonal lashing is odd in that it starts with a timber hitch. The reason is when you do a diagonal lashing, you're crossing two spars that you want to have some play in them. You want them to be attached to one another, but you want them to be able to give, probably because they're going to be positioned at an odd angle or something like that. So, let's start off with a timber hitch. We have the rope behind our spar. Rope comes around the front, so essentially underneath the spar, if you will. Once you get it in the front, you're going to wrap the working end around the standing end of the rope. Trying to give you a view of that. And then you take the working end and just continue to wrap it around itself until you run out of working end, and then pull it tight. So you essentially have what looks like spiraled rope around itself for the timber hitch. Now if you're using this to pull a log or a load or something like that, by pulling it in one direction it can slip. You can also get a lot of play in the piece you're pulling, so you really can't control necessarily based on the size of the object you're pulling. You might not be able to control it very well. What some people will do is if you put the timber hitch near one end, say of the log that you're pulling, you can put a half hitch further down. Stay there. So there's my timber hitch. And I've got this over here. Put my bundle of rope through. I can put a half hitch in there. Timber hitch at one end, half hitch at the other end, and then when I pull it, I have some control or better control over the spar that I'm pulling, because I'm actually pulling along the length of the spar as opposed to pulling it from just one point. So that's your timber hitch for attaching to a log or a spar, also used for starting off diagonal lashings, and that is your timber hitch supplemented by a half hitch if you want to pull or make sure you are pulling along the length of the object you're trying to drag. That also prevents the timber hitch from slipping a little bit as well.